Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is how outside of medicine continue the Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read. He saved his life that day, but he quickly lost his own to man-killing Hector. Hector speared him under the jaw and ear, knocked the teeth out, shattering roots and all split his tongue in half. He pitched from his car, and reins poured to the ground, and on foot Meriones grabbed them up in his hand, shouting out at Idomeneus, "Whip them hard now, back to the fast ships. You see for yourself no power left in the Aegypts." So Meriones yelled, and Idomeneus whipped the team with their manes streaming back to the hollow ships. Fear seized the king at last. Level-hearted Ajax, lion-hearted Ajax, and Menelaus were not blind. They saw Zeus turn the tide toward the Trojan. Telamonian Ajax voiced the frustration first. "Dear God, enough! Any idiot boy could see how Father Zeus himself supports these Trojans. All their weapons land. No matter who flings them, brave fighters or bad, Zeus guides them all to the mark. Ours all clatter to ground. Wasted, harmless shots. So come, along as we are, find the best way out. How do we pull the body clear and save ourselves, make it back to our lines and bring our friends come joy?" They look our way, and in despair they must, all hope gone that murderous Hector's rage and invincible spear arm can be stopped. Not now. He will hurl himself against our blackened hulls. If only an aide could speed the word to Achilles. I'm certain he has not heard the dreadful news that his dear friend lies dead. Wherever I look, no use. I cannot see the Achaeans for the mission. Such swirling mist blots out the men and horses both. O Father Zeus, draw out armies clear of the clouds. Give us a bright sky. Give us back our sight. Kill us all in the light of day at least, since killing's now your pleasure." So he prayed, and the Father, filled with pity, seeing Ajax weep, he dispelled the mist at once, drove off the cloud, and the sun came blazing forth, and the whole wall swung into view. Clear that instant that Ajax called aloud of the war cry, "Menelaus, look hard for Antilochus now, my royal friend. If you see him still alive, brave Nestor's son, tell him to run the news of great Achilles quickly. His dearest friend in arms on earth lies dead." And the lord of the battle cry could not refuse, but dragged his heels like a lion leaving sheepfolds. Bone weary from hairy hounds and field hands, they all never let him tear the rich fat from the oxen. All night long they stand there, guard, but the lion craves meat. He longs in and in, but his charges gain him nothing. Thick and fast from their hardy hands the javelin rain down in his face, and waves roaring torches. These the big cat fears, balking for all his rage, and at dawn he slinks away, his spirits dashed, and so the lord of the wall city left Patroclus. Resisting all the way, he feared the worst. Stumped in terror, his men would leave the body, easy prey for the Trojans. So here Menelaus paused with much to command Meriones and Aeneas, Ajax and Ajax, captain of Achaea. Meriones too, remember Patroclus now, our stricken comrade. That gentleman, the soul of kindness to all, while the man was still alive. Now death and fate have gotten him in their grave. And with that, the red-haired captain moved ahead, like an eagle scanning left and right. The bird-man, say, has the sharpest eyes of all that fly the heavens. High as he soars, he will never miss the racing hare. Cowering down, low in the dense, shaggy brush, down on its head he swoops, and pins it fast and rips his life away. So now, Menelaus, O my king, you turned your shining eyes, scanning the crowds of comrades front and rear, trying to see if Nestor's son was still alive. He marked him quickly out on the left flank, and rode in cohort, driving them back to war, and the red-haired captain halted near and called, "Turn this way, Antilochus, prince, and hear the news, dreadful news. Would to God it had never happened. You see for yourself, I know how Father Zeus sent waves of ruin breaking down our lines. Victory goes to Troy. Our best Achaeans dead, Patroclus, a stunning loss to all our armies. Quick, run to Achilles, mowing up the beach, and tell him all. Perhaps, but he must be fast. He can bring the body safely back to his ship. Stripped as Patroclus is, Hector, with that flashing helmet, has his armor." Antilochus listened closely, hating every word. He stood there speechless a while, struck dumb, tears filling his eyes, his strong voice choked, but he still would not neglect Atreus' order. So handling his gear to a loyal aide, Laodocus, who maneuvered his pawing horse close by, he set off at a run. But he wept freely now as his feet swept him clear of the close fighting, bearing the dreadful news to Peleus' son Achilles. "But you, Menelaus, O my king, you had no heart to defend the Pylians, hard pressed as they were, once their leader left a heavy blow to his troops, and putting the veteran Thrasymedes in command. He ran back to besiege Patroclus' corpse again, and flanking the two Aeantes now, reported briskly, I sent Antilochus his off to the fast ships and to tell the swift Achilles, but I've little hope he will come at all. But all this, his rage at Hector, how can he fight the Trojans without armor? So come, alone as we are, find the best way out. How do we pull the body clear and save ourselves from the Trojans' uproar? Flee our death, our fate?" The great Telamonian Ajax answered firmly, "All true. Straight to the point, Lord Menelaus. Quickly, you and Meniones, shoulder up, and the body, carried off the lines. We're right behind you, fighting the Trojans, fighting this Prince Hector. The two Aeantes bear the same fury, the same name, and no stranger at standing up to slashing arrays, each defending the other side by side." So he urged, and up from the earth they caught the body in their arms, hoisting it high above their heads with a great heave, and Trojans forced crowding behind them shouted out. When they saw the Argive fighters lift the corpse, they swept in like hounds that fling themselves as wounded boar before young hunters reach him, darting in for a moment, keen to rip the boar apart till he wheeled at bay, ramping into the pack with all his power, and the hounded cringe and bolted and scatter left and right. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.